Hi everyone, my name is Menina Chow. I'm part of the SAP community team, and you are joining the SAP community call about business document processing with SAP AI Business Services. With me, you have Tim Nusch and Dr. Tomasz Janasz, both product managers for SAP AI Business Services, ready to really give you more insights and show the portfolio of business document processing. But before we get started, just a few housekeeping notes. As your moderator, you have the chance to post in Q&A, raise your questions. Tim and Tomasz, they are really ready to answer all your questions that you have. We also try to have reserved time at the end of the call to address them, but yeah, feel free to really interact and continue adding your thoughts, sharing feedback, or raising questions. With that, I'm happy to hand over to both of you, Tim and Tim and Tomasz.
Thanks, Menina, and good afternoon, good morning to everybody participating in this SAP community call. Today, we want to present to you the topic of business document processing with SAP AI Business Services. Let me move on. So my name is Tomasz Janasz, and I am the area product manager for the topic at hand, business document processing. And with me is my fellow colleague, Tim Nusch, who is also a product manager in the same area. We are representing technology and innovation division of SAP, where we are providing AI-based business services on the SAP Business Technology Platform. The objective for today's call is to understand and inspire what is possible with business document processing on Business Technology Platform. And the agenda for today looks as follows. We will get insights into what business document processing is and what we understand under it. Then we want to deep dive into business relevant use cases to give you a couple of ideas where you can implement those services. We have also prepared two insightful demos for you. And finally, we will be also sharing details about the architecture and some additional enablement assets and resources that you can use to kickstart with our services. We also included a Q&A session at the end of the presentation, and then we can have a discussion and answer your questions. So let's get started. So first of all, the Business Technology Platform of SAP provides our customers with the possibility to easily transform data into business value, and with that to achieve competitive advantage. The platform intends to provide a one-stop shop for data-driven innovations in four main areas. It is database and data management from the left, analytics, application development and integration, and intelligent technologies such as AI for enterprises. In particular, SAP AI Business Services is the department that we represent today. We provide reusable cloud services based on AI and machine learning. These are microservices that facilitate the usage of AI in a compliant and enterprise-ready way. They intend to be generic and standard enough to solve different business problems and make business processes smarter. These services are easy to consume because we provide them based on RESTful APIs. So there are standard endpoints that can be easily integrated in a secure way. And with that, we enable you to extend any business process or application, be it SAP or non-SAP, with lowest TCO. Today, we will be talking specifically about AI business services related to business document processing. Okay, so what do we understand under business document processing? Many processes in enterprises still involve processing of business documents, be it, for example, supplier invoices in accounts payable or customer orders in sales. Even though we know that there are various ways to electronically exchange information today, large amounts of documents are still processed manually. Just take a look on the numbers on the left side. Only the estimated number of processed invoices in 2019 reached the number of 550 billion documents annually. The challenge is to automatically transform unstructured documents into structured information and embed this information directly into the business process to generate instant business value. And this quote is exactly the definition of our value proposition that we provide with our services. So business document processing typically consists of three main steps. First of all, classification. When a document arrives, you need to understand what type of document it is in order to know what to do with it in the next process step. Extraction. You want to extract business relevant information out of this document. Here we talk about the semantical information, which is relevant for your business. And finally, there is the need to enrich this information with additional master data and post it back to the system of record for further processing. Value out of that can be seen in increased automation rate, meaning less human involvement into the process, higher accuracy by leveraging latest machine learning algorithms, increased processing speed, and with that also operational efficiency. And finally, with all that, the companies can achieve significant cost reductions by, for example, reducing the human labor associated with these processes. Now, let's have a look at the portfolio of AI business services related to business document processing. The first one I want to present is document classification. It classifies documents into customer-specific categories. It takes document image or a PDF file as input and assigns a corresponding class to it. The example in the blue box shows the classification result for an invoice with a confidence value of 90%. This means that the algorithm is confident to 90% that this document is an invoice, and it has much lower confidence that the document is payment advice or purchase order. With this, you can make a decision and then process with the document in the next process step. The service can be retrained on customer data. However, SAP provides and maintains one pre-trained model that can be used out of the box. The second service is document information extraction. This service extracts semantical information from business documents, such as invoices, and enriches this information by matching it to uploaded master data. It takes document image or a PDF as an input. And the example in the blue box shows some relevant header fields from a supplier invoice, but the service can also predict line items of such an invoice. This service comes with pre-trained global models for invoices, payment advice documents, and purchase orders. These models are maintained and further developed and optimized by SAP. The last service in our portfolio is business entity recognition. It takes as input text and detects and returns any type of named entity in unstructured text documents. An example shows three potential business entities, such as payment period, currency, and the city, that can be extracted automatically from an email, for example. This service is retrainable on customer data. However, also in this case, SAP delivers some pre-trained models with predefined capabilities to use the service out of the box. Now let's turn to the business side to understand where you can apply these services to turn data into business value. We will present to you some usual use cases that we observe with our customers, but we also hope to give you some inspirational ideas for your own business challenges that you can face with regard to business document processing at your company. As you can imagine, there are plenty of possible scenarios where you can apply these services. Think about, for example, finance, for example, invoice automation in accounts payable or payment advice extraction in accounts receivable. Sales, Here, for example, handling incoming customer orders that arrive via an email as a PDF attachment. Document management, here, for example, managing large amounts of critical documents in legal departments, or responding to email requests in your shared service centers. Today, together with team, we would like to present to you 4 most prominent use cases that you can also see marked as green here on this slide. So let me start with the first one, which relates to accounts payable and invoice extraction. Accounts payable is the most time and labor intensive finance and administration function nowadays, as you can imagine. In fact, processing costs per invoice range from $5 to $12. Roughly 62% of the costs come from manual processing. Document information extraction can provide added value by automatically extracting and enriching unstructured data from an invoice. So the optimized process flow could look as follow. An accounts payable clerk receives an invoice. The invoice is then split and data automatically extracted. The enrichment with supplier and employee data from the corresponding master data records takes place automatically by the system. Invoice is then posted into the system of record. And finally, the clerk can proceed with the subsequent reconciliation process. As it regards the benefits, applying document information extraction to this process leads to higher accuracy, optimized productivity of employees, and better operational efficiency in terms of reduced costs of the process, as well as a lower rate of errors. Exactly, this scenario is supported in SAP Concur Invoice. SAP Concur Invoice is a standard business application for accounts payable. The functionality which we support is called invoice capture, and this functionality features document information extraction. We serve roughly 3,500 end customers of Concur Invoice, and for them we process over 2 million documents per month. With SAP Concur Invoice, you can reduce your average cost of processing a single invoice by more than 80%. Okay, at this point, I would like to switch to a short demo. I would like to show you how an invoice data can be extracted automatically. Let me switch to my browser. So I hope you can see now my screen. So what you can see here is the landing page of document information extraction. So you can see that I have no data here. What I can do as a business user, I can just upload an invoice for processing by the machine learning algorithm, which runs in the background. So what I just need to do here, I need to select the document. First of all, I need to choose the document type I am interested in. So be it an invoice, payment advice, or purchase order. Let me go for the invoice. Now I will select an invoice that I want to process. Then in the second step, I'll be asked to select the header fields that I am interested in. And you can see here the range of header fields that the service returns in standard. So let me select all of the fields. And then in the third step, I can also select the line items that I want to extract. And again, here you can also see the supported line items that the service extracts out of the box. In the final step, I can review my selection. I can edit it. And by confirming, I am now sending the document to the service. You can see that the status is currently pending, which means that we are waiting for the response from the service. It's an asynchronous call. So basically the UI is asking the service for results. And any second, we should see that the status should change to ready. Now that's the case. And now this is ready for review. So let's have a look. So first of all, what I can see here is the preview of the document that I uploaded. You can see that there are some relevant header fields. And if I scroll down, you will see also some line items. You can also see here this bounding boxes, and they indicate already the information, the semantical information that got extracted by the service. The blue one indicates the header fields, and the orange one indicates the line items that got extracted by the service. If I hover over this bounding box, I also see what kind of information has been extracted. And here you can already see the key value pair, right? So this is the invoice number, and I mean the field is invoice number, and the corresponding value is 174221, which is correct. And similarly for other information that got extracted. What I can also view here are the extraction results side by side. So now I can see all the header fields that got extracted and listed in a structured way. What you can also see is some indication regarding the confidence values. So the service also delivers a confidence value. And if I scroll down, I can also see the line items that got extracted. Nice thing about this UI is if I click on the field, I should be taken to the location on the document where this value has been extracted. In the case that some information is missing, I can edit. And what you can see here on the left is the appearance of this gray overlay that is currently seen on the document. And this gray overlay is basically the result of the OCR. So OCR is part of the service. It's integrated into the service. And this gray background indicates the results of this OCR engine. What I can now do, so if we recall, we are missing the unit of measurement. So I can now select this unit of measurement here on the document. And either I select the field and assign it here, or I just click here on the field and the value will be taken over to this field. And when I save the ground truth of this document back to the service. So changes are saved successfully, and basically I'm done with this document. Good, that was the demo of the service itself. Let me now move on with the presentation. The second use case that we want to present today to you relates to document classification, and it's called enterprise email inbox handling. So the problem at hand is that SAP customers frequently have to process business documents attached to emails from their business partners. Usually, these documents arrive in a central enterprise email inbox. Classifying the attachments is often a very manual and error-prone process. It can cause damage to business-critical processes, like, for example, customer order processing, where you need like very fast responses to customers. Document classification in this case, in conjunction with intelligent robotic process automation by SAP, can provide added value by automatically classifying and dispatching incoming documents. In this way, the documents can be quickly pre-processed and then dispatched to the corresponding business process by an intelligent bot. This bot can run in an unattended way or an attended way. So the optimized process flow is, first, large amounts of different documents arrive into the enterprise email inbox. Next, the intelligent bot screens incoming emails for attachments. Then it automatically sends them to the AI Business Service for classification. And after this pre-processing step, the bot can finally initiate the subsequent correct business process. The benefits of applying AI in this process is much faster identification of critical files within large volumes of documents, which leads finally to the reduction of repetitive tasks and much faster responses to customers. Here, I wanted to mention that exactly this use case, as described, is in productive usage by our reference customer, Villeroy & Boch Group. Their classification problem is to classify incoming invoices, delivery notes, dunning letters, and terms and conditions. So they have like 4 categories where they have to recognize what kind of a document type it is. This particular customer stated that with AI Business Services, they are enabled to extend classical automation scenarios with smart decision support capabilities that help to be much more effective for their employees. All right, so at this point, I would like now to hand over to Tim for presenting other 2 business use cases.
Yeah, thank you, Tomasz. Yeah, I'm happy to explain further use cases for our AI Business Services. So first of all, I want to talk about the shared service center use case, which is, by the way, also implemented in live at one of our bigger customers, which is a German automotive company. And their business challenge is that their shared service organization is really a multi-inbound channel for various internal but also external inquiries, which might come in, for example, via email. And now a combination of our AI Business Services helps to first classify the incoming requests via our service ticket intelligence service. But then on top of that, also it helps, or our services help to extract entities from both the service request body. So this is where business entity recognition helps, as my colleague Tomasz explained at the beginning, but also the attachments or entities from the attachments get extracted via document information extraction, which we have just seen in the live demo. The extracted information can then be used to either support the shared service center agent, or even to fully automate the service request, for example, via an RPA bot who can, for example, automatically respond to incoming service requests. So in the end, with the combination of our 3 AI Business Services, again, this scenario also helps to minimize manual and repetitive tasks, and it helps the employees to focus on more value-creating tasks. And also from the customer's point of view, the response rate and a more accurate response rate is also achieved. And in the bottom right box, we also have put the statement of the customer. So this is the head of finance processes and standards. And basically the customer told us that, this scenario basically helps them to reduce up to 25% of the workload within their shared services organization, which currently is roughly 150 people big. And now coming to the 4th use case or 4th business scenario we want to present today. And this is basically around intelligent lead capturing from business cards. Before I dive into this scenario, I just want to briefly explain that we are currently busy in implementing this directly into Business by Design. But the demo which I will show to you in a minute, is based on a slightly different scenario, but we'll come to that in a minute. So the whole scenario is really about getting data out of business cards. So you can imagine, or everyone who visited events or conferences, so live events or live conferences in the past, basically at those events, you can collect really a lot of business cards, and they come in various languages and in various formats. And now, in order to create contacts or leads in systems such as Business by Design or in SAP Cloud for Customer, one might need to really put in the information from those business cards manually into the corresponding systems. And now, obviously, this is also where our services can help. So this is a similar combination of services. So here our document information extraction service together with business entity recognition helps to also automatically extract not only the text, but also really mapping it into the corresponding entities, which are then relevant for the contact or the lead. So we might, or we will see also in the demo in a minute, that information such as contact name, address fields, or for example, the company information is extracted automatically just from the picture of the business card. And without any further ado, I want to show you the demo now. So this is basically a simple Fiori interface, which has been built to demo this capability. Just give me a second. It's reloaded. There we go. And what I will do now is basically I first want to upload a, let's say, standard business card, which could be, so it's a made-up contact here. However, the information is similar to a typical business card, which could be found by looking at a German SAP employee. So here we have the made-up SAP employee Benjamin. And what is now happening is a two-step process. First of all, the OCR part basically extracts all the text from this image. And then in a second step, business entity recognition helps to then extract the contact relevant fields out of the full extracted text. And what you can see on the right side is exactly that. So you see that the combination of the two services have successfully identified the information from the business card. So we see here, for example, Benjamin Schultz. And we also see that the information, for example, the address information and the typical German notation, so street first, house number second, followed by the zip code and the city, got successfully mapped into the corresponding fields. And what is, for example, now missing might be the country information, simply because it was not explicitly put onto the business card. But now in the last step, you could, for example, enrich this and then submit the data extracted from the business card to your, for example, Cloud for Customer system, to Business by Design, or even to SAP Master Data Governance in order to enrich the data and in order to orchestrate the Master Data Governance accordingly. And the second business card with a North American notation is, let's say, the second business card which I want to upload here. And you see business card looks completely different, has a different structure. And also you see the typical North American notation here. So here we have another made-up SAP employee, Dan, working at SAP Canada. And you see here again all the header fields or the contact-related fields got extracted. And also in addition, let's say the more difficult part was again to extract the address fields and put them into the right, or to identify the address-related entities. And we see here again, even though here on this business card, the North American notation is used. So, for example, the house number first, followed by the street name. So this also got successfully identified and extracted. And now again, I might need to put Canada, make it explicit, but then again, I could now submit all the extracted information and put them into, or I could now use the extracted information within further business processes. Okay, coming back to the presentation. Now let's talk a little bit about the architecture of our AI business services. So all the business services which we have presented today are provided as reusable services on the business technology platform. They are provided as RESTful APIs, so they can be really consumed, as Tomasz explained earlier, within SAP environments or in combination with SAP applications, but also with non-SAP applications. All of our services use HTTPS and OAuth 2.0 for authentication. And optionally, if you need to connect to on-premise environments, our connectivity service on our SAP Business Technology platform in combination with the Cloud Connector could help to not only connect to further SAP or non-SAP cloud applications, but also into on-premise environments. Now let's talk a little bit about the different consumption options which we have to really consume our services. So on the left side, we are currently heavily working on natively embedding or integrating our services into standard SAP solutions. So you see here a couple of examples on the left side. We already have talked about Concur Invoice, but you see also the integrations into, for example, SAP Cash App for payment advice extraction, Business by Design. You have seen the business card use case, which will come soon. But we also have invoice scanning and mobile expense scanning. And last but not least, there are also integrations into S/4HANA. When it comes to automation, and we already have talked about that in regards to the Villeroy & Boch success story and the scenario used by Villeroy & Boch in combination with document classification. You can, of course, combine or consume our AI business services also within automation scenarios as part of intelligent RPA. And the nice thing is that we already offer best practices, but also bot templates for our services. And last but not least, in case you want full integration flexibility, you can, of course, consume our services also within SAP Cloud Integration and combine them with further services on the business technology platform, such as business rules or workflow management to build your own business scenario, including our AI services, but also including further services on business technology platform. And what we have put here are some blog posts which we have written on the SAP community pages, which basically are using the integration via the business technology platform. And last but not least, we also offer for each and every AI business service tutorials, which are really easy to consume and which really help you to get started with the services. And all the links to the tutorials for document information extraction, for document classification, and for business entity recognition can be found on this page. And I can highly recommend going through those tutorials if you want to work with our services. And with that, I hope the content was useful and insightful, and we now have some time left for some Q&A.
Thank you very much, both of you, also for the demos and all the links. I think it's good to get the great picture, and also want to make the audience aware that you can continue raising questions in the community. So I've posted in the chat under community.sap.com is where you can find the topic AI Business Services and all of the mentioned resources available. So for now, we don't have any questions in the chat. So let me stop the recording and thank you for your time, but we'll stay tuned for upcoming questions, of course.